Well, guys, we tried to warn people before the 2024 election. We talked about it a whole lot before Donald Trump got into office. But Donald Trump's brain is still broken. It no longer functions in the way that it used to. Now, he was not a smart individual before, but his cognitive decline is on full display, and it's getting so bad that when he sits down for interviews now, they got to use editing software to cut the old man off, which is really quite ironic since Donald Trump is trying to sue other news agencies for supposedly deceptively editing a clip of Kamala Harris when you've got Fox News doing the exact same thing, except Fox News isn't going to show you the unedited interview. And to watch Republicans just fall into line behind Donald Trump, to follow him into this wannabe authoritarian nightmare when they're making fun of somebody like Joe Biden for his cognitive decline, it's just quite rich. It's quite rich. Now, instead of focusing on these hard cuts that were contained within this interview with Maria Bartiromo, I want to go ahead and take a look at what Donald Trump had to say, because he was, like I said, a rambling mess. He uses elementary type language. I mean, just listen to him talk about the enrichment of uranium by Iran. What does the old man have to say about that? If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
Main sites, and we knew they're going to have to either give them up. And I thought we could do it during negotiation, and we just about had it done. And then they said, we want enrichment. Enrichment doesn't mean like air conditioning, and it doesn't mean to jack up your car. Enrichment is a bad word. And I said, you got so much oil, what do you need that for? And they said, well, we need it. And I wouldn't let that happen. I think people wouldn't have understood it if I allowed that to happen. So we had a 60-day talk, and that delayed them a lot. And then we said, let's go at it. And it just worked out. And we wanted to work out also for Iran. They were beaten up, and so was Israel. In all fairness, they were both very tight. We call it the 12-day war. That was an intensive war.
What is he talking about, guys? Well, enrichment, it's a bad word. It doesn't mean like air conditioning. It doesn't mean like jacking up your car. It's a bad word, guys. Iran can't have enriched uranium because it's not like air conditioning or jacking up your car. What the fuck is he talking about? How is this an appropriate answer to the question of whether or not Iran still has the capability to enrich their uranium, or whether or not they moved their already enriched uranium? How is this an appropriate answer to that question? Again, Donald Trump's brain is broken. Here he is saying that Democrats should be prosecuted for leaking intelligence about Iran.
You tweeted the Democrats leaked an intelligence.
They should be prosecuted.
Who specifically? Do we know who did it? Will you be able to find out?
They could find out. If they wanted, they could find out easily. You know, you go up and tell the reporter, national security, who gave it. You have to do that. And I suspect we'll be doing things like that.
Well,
It's like his only go-to. Oh, the Democrats did something wrong, prosecute them. Oh, the Democrats leaked something? Oh, prosecute them. We need to prosecute them. Even though there's been no evidence to substantiate that Democrats had anything to do with any leaked material regarding Iran. I went looking for this information. I could not find it. Donald Trump just making shit up on the fly, trying to demonize the other side of the aisle like he does time and time and time again. What is he talking about? There is no evidence out there to suggest that Democrats were leaking information about Iran. It's nowhere to be found. So again, I have no idea what Donald Trump is actually talking about here. Listen to the way that he talks about China and the way that there's kind of a back and forth there. It's quite wild. Brace yourself.
one of them signed a paper saying that he would value Mao Zedong's value system. So there was that. And then they hacked, and they hack into our telecom system. They've been stealing intellectual property. They fentanyl, COVID. I mean, you know, all of this stuff. So how do you negotiate with obviously a bad actor and trust them on economics?
You don't think we do that to them? We do.
So
we do a lot of things.
That's the way the world works?
It's the way the world works. No, it's a nasty world.
And then you just do a trade deal?
We do. Well, we made a lot of money with this trade deal. You know, I do a trade deal if it's work.
You think we don't do that to them guys? We don't do that to them? We do. What is going on here? Even Maria Bartiromo was like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? You're sitting there like a little child. Oh, you think we didn't hit him back? We certainly did, guys. We got our licks in. What are you saying? This is what? A 79, 80-year-old man? Supposed to be the president of the United States? Supposed to be, coming to all these trade deals with countries throughout the world? We're supposed to be getting peace in the Middle East? And he's sitting there, smiling. You don't think we do that to them? Quite strange. It's quite strange. Here he is going back on his whole mass deportation thing again. I mean, how many times did he tell us? Mass deportations for everybody. Doesn't matter where you work at. Doesn't matter which industry we're impacting. Here he is going back on his plan.
Have you been backing away from this, though? Because recently you said, let's ease up on, taking in people that are working, hard working, like in farms and hotels.
I don't back away. What I do have, I cherish our farmers. And when we go into a farm and we take away people that have been working there for 15 and 20 years who are good, who possibly came in incorrectly, and what we're going to do is we're going to do something for farmers where we can let the farmer sort of be in charge. The farmer knows he's not going to hire a murderer. But, when you go into a farm and he's had somebody working with him for 9 years doing this kind of work, which is hard work to do, and a lot of people aren't going to do it, and you end up destroying a farmer because you took all the people away, it's a problem. I'm on both sides of the thing. I'm the strongest immigration guy that there's ever been, but I'm also the strongest farmer guy that there's ever been. And that includes also hotels and, places where people work, a certain group of people work. So we're working on it right now. We're going to work it so that some kind of a temporary pass where people pay taxes, where the farmer can have a little control as opposed to you walk in and take everybody away. But no, the criminals are going out of this country.
Right. I'm on both sides of the thing, guys. I'm going to carry out the biggest mass deportation effort in history, but of course, guys, we got to think about the farmers. We got to think about the hotels. You can't just go in there into these workplaces and get rid of these people who've been here for 10 or 20 years. They're not going to hire murderers. Yeah, dude, that's what we've been trying to tell you. That mass deportations were going to be devastating to industries across the nation. And then he thinks he's some sort of genius coming, we're going to come up with some sort of system and we're going to give them these temporary passes and they can come into work and they can pay their taxes. This type of shit already goes on today. It already goes on today, Donnie boy. He knows nothing about anything. And then he thinks he's the genius who is thinking through these complex problems, and he is the one who is coming up with solutions. We have been telling this asshole for years that we need to overhaul our immigration system. We need to put better systems in place to allow people to come over the border and to work on a temporary basis, and they can still pay their taxes. We need to find a way or a pathway to citizenship for people who have already been in the country for 10 or 20 or 30 years. That's what we've been trying to tell you. And instead, you've taken this ham-fisted approach. You're raiding Home Depots. You're raiding factories in the fashion district. You've got your ICE agents patrolling American streets and racially profiling folks. Also, Stephen Miller can get his rocks off and deport as many people as he possibly can, as long as they have black or brown skin, right? These people, they're out of control. They are out of control. He goes on. He's asked about the 90 deals in 90 days. As most of you probably know, the whole Liberation Day tariff, the deadline is July 9th, so just over a week.
So July 9th is coming up. What are you going to do about the end of the pause in the tariffs?
It's so simple. We're sending letters out. I'd rather do it now. My guys, hey, I have great guys, Scott, Howard, other people, Jameson. They're talking to all these countries. We made a deal pretty much with India. We made a deal with China. We made a deal with UK, great people. We made deals. But I'd rather just send them a letter, a very fair letter, saying, congratulations, we're going to allow you to trade in the United States of America. You're going to pay a 25% tariff or a 20% or a 40 or 50%. I would rather do that. So when I get around...
You're not going to extend the pause?
I don't think I'll need to, because I could.
I could, guys. I could extend the deadline. Do you listen to how he talks about his team? I've got great people. Scott, Kevin, other people, Jameson. He's literally like an elementary school kid who is trying to name off the people he met on his first day of school. How do the MAGA base look at an interview like this and say, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Oh, yeah, and he's such a great deal maker that he's just going to send out letters to all of these countries and say, you're paying this tariff. Because Donald Trump miscalculated here. He thought he was going to, put into effect these Liberation Day tariffs, these astronomically high tariffs based on a misunderstanding of trade deficits. He put those into effect, and he thought that all of these countries from all around the world, they were going to come on bended knee, and they were going to negotiate the best trade deal of their life. And what happened? We're almost at the 90-day mark. 90 deals in 90 days has not come to fruition. I think we have one deal with the UK, which I think is our 11th biggest trading partner. No country is coming on bended knee to negotiate with Donald Trump. They have now decided to trade around the United States. They have started to establish new trading relationships with people outside of the United States. Donald Trump, this is a self-inflicted wound. And now you're saying, oh, well, it'll be a deal as long as I can send them out a paper and tell them which tariff that they're paying. That is not a trade deal, you dumbass. That is just not how any of this works. He goes on to talk about windmills and solar energy, green energy, and listen here as to why he doesn't want to pursue these types of energy.
Opened up coal. We were closing all our coal mines all over the country, and yet we still have a lot of coal. We use the generating plants of coal because it's the strongest, and we're doing coal. So we have everything, every form. I don't want windmills destroying our place. I don't want, these solar things where they go for miles and they cover up a half a mountain that are ugly as hell. And by the way, the panels are all made, and the windmills, they're all made in China.
They look ugly, guys. Donald Trump wants to put the United States at a strategic disadvantage with all of these new forms of energy because Donald Trump doesn't like the way they look. He doesn't like those windmills that he wasn't able to remove near his golf course over in Ireland or Scotland or wherever it was. He's got a bone to pick with windmills. He thinks that these solar arrays that capture energy from the sun, well, we can't have any of that because they look bad. And then he says, oh, well, all these windmills, they're made in China anyways. Also not true. We do a lot of manufacturing for those wind turbines right here in the United States of America. So you are shooting yourself, you are shooting the country in the foot yet again, putting us at a strategic disadvantage because the old man doesn't like the way it looks on his lawn. This is the President of the United States, everybody. Isn't this the guy who's supposed to be looking out for the better interest of the American people? These green energy jobs, they are good paying jobs. Solar energy is now I believe, the cheapest form of energy. Why would you shoot us in the foot because you don't like the way it looks? Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about you, doesn't give a shit about me, doesn't give a shit about your mom or your dad or your grandma. Donald Trump thinks green energy, any way it's implemented, it looks bad. So we're just not going to pursue that anymore, putting America, at a strategic disadvantage yet again. He goes on to talk about the TikTok deal, but don't worry, guys. He's got a plan.
They're no big deal. It's like TikTok. I'm extending that, but no big deal. We have a buyer for TikTok, by the way. I think I'll need probably China approval, and I think President Xi will probably do it.
Who's the buyer?
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks.
You really can't write this stuff. How is it possible that Donald Trump, he's like probably the most terminally online president, might be the most terminally online person that our country has ever seen, and he still wields this, well, I'll tell you in 2 weeks, as though we are going to take him seriously. This man is not well. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about ever. He is shooting the United States in the foot in more than one ways. We got the green energy stuff they're trying to roll back. You've got... We're only 6 months in. And this is the guy that the Republicans have chosen to line up behind and follow him into this fascist nightmare. How does anybody look at this guy and say, yeah, he's all there? Even the Democrats could look at Joe Biden and say, yeah, he's slowed down a little bit. Where are the Republicans at? Where are the moderates at? Where are the MAGA freaks at? Donald Trump is clearly not well. He's rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling. He seems to have no understanding of the different negotiations he's supposed to be involved in. He has no idea what he's going to be doing as far as the Liberation Day tariff deadline. Doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing about anything. Keeps on saying that Iran, they don't even want to enrich uranium, even though that everybody can look and see that that is just not true. And it's looking more and more likely that they were able to move much of their enriched supply of uranium before the strikes, because Donald Trump was spouting off at the mouth in advance, weeks in advance, where they had, some inkling. Iran had some inkling that maybe this could be coming so they could move their stockpile. Donald Trump is not only the stupidest president that we've ever had, but he is hurting our country. He is endangering the lives of American citizens. And his brain, even though it was not a high-functioning brain before, it is certainly showing cognitive decline that we have 3.5 years to endure. Oh boy. Things could get ugly. But I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We are trying to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against the right-wing media ecosystem that just launders all of this craziness from Donald Trump and his administration day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. Of course, that is free. And if you guys want to see how the Supreme Court stripped away one of the most effective tools at trying to rein in this rogue administration, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.